Good morning. Hope you're having a great start to the week. Pretty exciting week here for our team at Harvest Profit. We're doing a week-long design sprint. Design sprint comes out of some guys, the team at Google Ventures, that they implemented and fine-tuned across a bunch of their portfolio companies. If you've been following along with some content that I put out, you might think it's a little ironic that we're really excited about implementing a tool from Google Ventures, given that I'm not, a huge fan of venture capital, for our stage of business. And the main reason why is simply because, we need to have a proven, repeatable, scalable sales and marketing model in our business to justify raising a bunch of money. And I've repeated that many times in many different channels. There's nothing wrong with venture capital. If you have a business with network effects, if you have a business that requires big investments in capital, whether that's capital expenditures, building factories, buying a bunch of inventory, you'd be foolish, or it might not even be possible to run a business without significant amounts of venture capital. And there are some amazing, really amazing investors out there that can not only provide the needed capital, but they can also provide a ton of great insight. And so, we're not completely opposed to that. We don't think we don't think venture capital is the devil, but at the end of the day, it just hasn't been the right fit for our little business up until this point. That's always up for debate, up for change, but that's where we're at. So it's a little bit ironic that we're sitting here today super excited about this design sprint coming out of Google Ventures. A little bit on the design sprint, we're basically condensing what typically takes months, multiple months of planning, strategizing, prototyping, and just cramming that all into a week. So we're getting four of our team members, and we're bringing in one outside resource to kind of work on this design sprint with us this week, with the plan of building up a prototype of a grain inventory tracking feature, kind of a full cycle grain inventory tracking feature, using some pretty cool techniques, some innovative ways to capture data. But the main purpose of the design sprint is you go into it with an open mind. You try to take best practices and ideas from other industries, other products, and then bake that into what we're doing here at our Harvest Profit. And it really allows a bunch of independent creative thought to enter into the product planning, the design planning, and getting away from this progressive groupthink that tends to happen. At least I've seen it with myself, and in particular, you tend to just start following one train of thought and you keep staying on that same path. And the purpose of the design sprint is just to introduce independent thinking, different ideas, take some risks, be creative, and that's really what we're doing here this week. So, number one, we're excited about working on this new feature. Number two, we're excited about working on a design sprint in general. And then number three, it's a little bit ironic that we're using this framework out of Google Ventures, given some of the content I've put out on venture capital. But, once again, venture capital is great, very beneficial, needed in many circumstances, just not ours to date. So have a great week, and we'll probably touch base midweek and give you guys an update on some things we're working on in our design sprint. Thanks.